Hi everybody, welcome down to Carter's Golf. Welcome to Jumeirah Golf Estates. I'm on the Earth course today and we're talking pitching. Okay, so pitching is a very key area for a lot of golfers. Now, for example, I would say if you're a kind of a 15 handicap or above, you're going to be pitching on pretty much every hole. So playing bogey golf on a par 4, if you don't hit the green in 2, you may be in and around this sort of region where I am right now. So I'm around about 40 yards away from the flag, and this sort of thing will be a very popular shot for the kind of 15 handicapper and above, and a shot that you can practice hard on and help lower the scores really quickly. Really important to get this ball onto the green. That's the very first kind of idea. That's the first mission for this shot. Get the ball onto the green, 2 putts, make your bogey. The better you get at playing this shot, the more likely you are to then get it onto the green and maybe 1 putt. But I think as soon as we start missing the green from, let's say, 30, 40, 50, 60 yards away, we're looking at double bogey or worse. If I hit this shot now and I chunk it into one of the bunkers, I'm looking at double bogey. If I hit this shot, chunk it, and it rolls in front of the bunker, then my next shot I've got to go over the bunker. Again, we're looking at double bogey or worse. So it's a really important shot. And naturally, as golfers, we think of the bad drives we hit. We think of the shots where you may have gone out of bounds 2 or 3 times on the golf course. Absolutely not ideal, so that's something we can obviously improve on. But this side of the game, you can walk off the golf course saying, I didn't chunk, thin, mess up any of the pitch shots inside of 60 yards. I hit the green every single time I had one. I'm almost going to guarantee you will lower your score. So we're going to talk through technique of the shot. First thing, we're looking at weight distribution, so making sure that the body weight is across onto your lead foot. So for right-handed golfers, making sure it's onto your left foot. Now, I see golfers all the time, and when they watch YouTube videos and they take the advice given, and I think sometimes they exaggerate it, not on purpose, but I think they just overdo it. I saw a guy yesterday and the weight was on the left side like this and the hands are forward like this. We do say get the weight forward and the hands forward, but remember it's a very small amount, okay? So I want to try and get the weight forward onto my left side, so I'm talking 65%, 70% maximum, okay? So just sitting into the left foot. Now, one of the key things for a pitch shot is still making sure that you rotate your whole body, okay? So making sure that as you turn through the shot, the lower body's rotating as well. So to help that, I like, and this is something I do as well, I like to kind of flare the front foot out a little bit. If I flare the front foot out, I can put my weight over that knee and get myself forward. But then also as I turn through the shot, it's a lot easier to rotate. If I've got my lead foot square, and even though I've got my weight on that lead foot as well, I find it quite difficult to rotate through. Now on these shots, even though it's only 30 yards, I still want to see lots of rotation into the follow through. Okay, so we've got the weight across onto the left hand side. We've got the left foot just kind of, or the lead foot slightly flared out, weight into the left side. Ball position, don't mind just kind of seeing it into the middle of the stance. Again, we're trying to encourage a downward angle of attack. And as we rotate down with the upper body, that lead hip, that left hip in the right-handed golfer is going to rotate around. The weight's still going to be staying on that left-hand side. The key thing is how much we do with the wrist as well. Now, length of swing is going to dictate how far the ball goes. So the length of your backswing will dictate how far you're going to hit the golf shot, not your follow through. So even if the backswing's only up to here, still feel like you're kind of rotating through the shot with a little bit of force, with power, because you're still going to execute the shot kind of fully almost. So one of the key things here, make sure the weight's across onto your left side, flare the front foot up, weight onto the left side, choose the length of the swing, and not to be too wristy. So the wrists are going to be active during the swing. Now I think keeping the width on this takeaway is key. Golfers I see get like this too much into this position. There's going to 2 things are going to happen. You're either going to decelerate into the ball, or by having to release the wrist, you're now starting to shallow the club just as you're about to hit the ball, which leads to a heavy shot or a thin shot. So length of swing is key, but also controlling the wrist. We are going to hinge, but we're not going to over hinge. We don't want to make it too difficult on the way down to get that strike and that execution. So just going to go away, hit a couple of shots. So 30-40 yards, I've got 54 degree. I'm going to put the weight forward into my left side, flare the left foot open, rotate back. That's a nice strike. Again, Holding into the follow-through position is absolutely key. Hit a pretty decent shot, and then I go up there, and if I'm, like say, if I'm 15 handicap and above, 2 putts and I walk off with my bogey. The better you get at playing those shots, the more rewarded you're going to get during the golfing round as well. All right, so talking swing path on this particular shot, again, I see golfers, if they have a takeaway that's quite shallow in the full golf swing, they have time in the full golf swing to kind of steepen it back up to then hit the shots they want to hit, to strike the ball they want to strike it, the way they want to strike it. So if they go in there, they've got time to steepen it and maybe hit a couple of good shots. Sometimes obviously that's going to fade, but we're not talking about that today. Because the swing is shorter, we need to be a little bit better with the quality of the technique. So I'd want to try and see a golfer take the club away along the line of the target. So we're trying to take the club away a lot straighter. I wouldn't even mind seeing the golfer take it slightly on the outside as long as it's controlled on the way back down. What we don't want to see is a golfer take it on the inside here, because although the swing might get to there and you've got a little bit of time to make it up, we're still encouraging a kind of a poor swing path, which is going to lead to some poor shots as well. So the best thing we can try and do, as we get to this point here, the shaft of the club now is kind of parallel to my target lines, pretty much parallel to my feet, parallel to my target line. So I know I'm on plane, and then I'm going to get my hinge and my turn and release that back down as well. If I take the club too much on the inside, you'll see now that the shaft of the club is pointing to the right side of my target for right-handed golfers, pointing to the right side of my target. Therefore, I'm out of sync, I'm out of position. I need to now try and rectify it. On these short pitch shots from 30, 40, 50, 60 yards, we don't have time. The swing's not long enough, or fast enough. We don't have time in the swing to make these manipulations. So it's important to take away as we come away from the ball. It's pretty solid. So we get a nice movement of the shoulders rotating, trying to get the turn of the shoulders there, up, and then we're using the lower body to rotate everything back down. The rotation of the swing going down with the upper body and turning with the hips. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope this tip has helped. Really important for the quality of the golf swing combined with the quality of the setup to make sure that we don't mess these shots up. These are frustrating shots to mess up because you are close to the green, so you feel like it should, no matter what standard of golf you feel like you should hit the green from here. But it's important not to take it for granted. This shot can quite easily be messed up, as we all know, we've all done it. So it's important to go through a routine, okay? Go through a set routine, grip, posture, ball position, weight distribution, positioning of your feet. Have a little rehearsal of how you want the club to come away from the ball. These key areas are going to help you hit the green every time from here. The better you get it, the more one puts you'll get on the other side as well. Guys, thanks very much for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Lots more tips to come, and from a very nice and warm, beautiful Dubai at the moment. See you again very soon.